Hello, everybody. I'm not really sure we're on yet. It's one of that magic moment on Facebook Lives where it says you're on, but doesn't give you the count. So then you're not really sure if you're on, but then it comes live and it says it's been 5 seconds. So you got to say hi just in case it's actually on. It's a very confusing time for all of us. How you doing? I hope you're amazing. Thanks for being here. We've got magical show for you today. It's beautiful outside. We need to get the hell out of here, basically. But
we have a magical show for you today.
Yeah, it is magical.
I was called magic today.
You were?
Yeah.
In what context?
Well,
I mean, if it's shareable.
It is shareable in the context of my ability to read people.
Well, I mean, that is. I actually was bragging about that the other day because I was mentioning that I wanted you to meet a couple people that I had met because I couldn't possibly, I need your, laser X-ray vision. I get you. I see through all your secrets.
I see dead people in your
maybe.
closet.
Yeah, maybe.
And I know why they're there.
Or at least we don't want to hire you because you have dead people in your closet.
Yeah.
All right. I have Shelly's email somewhere, but it's so far down my email. I have to search for it. This is how much email I've been getting to. Or maybe it's just super slow because all the things. Here it is. I've been up for a really long time. Okay, happy fall. Is it the equinox today or was it yesterday?
Yesterday.
Happy autumnal equinox, a day late. I challenged Cappy to say autumnal. He could never get it.
So he could not say autumnal?
No, he's something about the M and the N being so close together. It's very complicated.
Oh, I want to see this.
Yeah, you should.
Can you please record it? No, will you please record it secretly and then we'll put it on Facebook?
Totally, I will. It's a good idea. I should have done it originally because then now it's...
Autumnal?
Autumnal.
He couldn't.
No, it's too fancy, I guess. He's not a fancy guy.
Get out of here with your bougie words.
That's right. He's like, you mean fall? I'm like, yeah, that'll work.
You mean fall? I can do the F, the A, the L, and the L.
That's right. I can do that. It rhymes with fall. All right. We had, of course, great mastermind meeting today. We love our mastermind people so much. There are people, and we love to see them all the time. And they're really funny and sometimes loquacious.
Loquacious. A list of words that Cappy cannot say.
It's going to be a cascade.
Yes.
Of them. Okay, I'm going to be next week. Is that Tuesday? I think. Maybe Monday. It's actually a really cool conference. It's called the B2B Next Conference. And for those of you who aren't in the weirdo business space that we live in, B2B means business to business, which means we sell to other businesses. We don't sell direct to consumer, which would be a B2C business. We do actually sell to consumers in certain ways, but a lot of what we do is selling to other companies. So I'm speaking on how to plan for chaos in your companies. So that will be really fun. And I have to say, I'm pretty damn impressed. I've got a pop-up banner, I got a ring light, I got a microphone in the mail, ready to go. I haven't tested it all yet, but I have all the accoutrement that it takes to do a good session. So I'm kind of excited about it.
Which they shipped to you, yes?
Yes, they shipped it to me. I assume they're going to want it back at some point, but it's pretty awesome. I don't know if that means they don't trust me to have nice things, but...
Well, it's probably reasonable, yes.
Probably reasonable. All right, and then you're doing the Elevate Rapid City talk next week, right?
Yes,
the last, fourth and final.
Elevate Rapid City, leading with competence.
Also,
sometimes, yeah.
It would be nice.
Confidence. I'm talking about accountability, and
something about blind trust.
Accountability. Blind trust is not an approach.
Right?
Hope is not a strategy. Thinking that common sense exists in your world is ridiculous. Just stop it right now. Shelly will be happy, I'm sure, to put the link to that event in the comments. And it's $25 to join us for that hour session. You get to engage and have any questions that you want to ask.
I did make people turn on the radio.
How did it go?
Well, I did an activity where they had to cover up.
Oh, you did the thing? Yeah.
And that actually, everyone turned it on.
Oh. Instruction-based humans.
I actually, well, some people didn't. But I had probably 20 people, and I would say 15 of them turned their videos
Yeah.
on and kept them on for the whole time.
Oh. Well, I know quite a few of them that I had in the class I did last week were on their phone or said they didn't have video capability, which is just for anybody who's in the group right now who uses that excuse. Those of us who Zoom know you're full of the business, because that is not true. You have camera capability on any piece of technology. We know you're lying.
Yeah, and honestly, to a favor to any of the speakers, you turning on your video means that you're engaged, you're paying attention, and it's really a lot nicer experience for everybody. So turn on your damn video camera.
We should do a segment on like Zoom etiquette as the participant.
Right?
That would be good.
I mean, I probably break most of those rules, but I do pay attention. But yes, that'd be a good one. All right. Also, the B2B Next link that Shelly just put in, you can attend. So if you want to know all kinds of interesting things about selling to other businesses or positioning yourself in a B2B market, whatever, it's really good. And these guys that organized are like really put together. So you can check it out. Okay. Weekly quote. Treating one symptom won't solve the problem any better than putting a Band-Aid on a broken leg. Well,
yeah, so if you think that you're going to fix a problem by way of just alleviating the pain of the symptom, you are sorely mistaken. If you have a bad egg, throw it out.
Oh yeah, this is Meg's. Although it's sort of like your neck, right? You could take the ibuprofen.
Oh yeah.
And that'll like dull the pain.
That did help actually.
But I'll just do this the whole time.
Oh yeah.
But you have to actually go get fixed.
Yes, I do at 3.
Otherwise you pop ibuprofen for, you got it at 3 o'clock. Okay,
Right.
we better get on the stick. Otherwise you live on ibuprofen because you don't actually solve the problem.
Yeah.
Cappy, finally, he always has this crazy back, and he has a chiropractor that adjusted his sacrum.
Oh yes.
That big wide bone in your hips. And she said that has probably not been adjusted since he was a teenager. And I can actually see him standing straighter now, like crazy. So go get your shit checked out.
Yeah, do it, especially in your company.
Yeah, oh my God, right? Yeah, to bring it back. All right, you want to do the prompt?
Sure, weekly writing prompt. What are 3 things in your career that you are exceptional at? Write them down. It's important to acknowledge and own your strengths. We are really bad at this. I challenge you, for those of you who are saying, I can talk about my strengths all day long. I challenge you to say them without making some shitty joke, though, about how you're only good at it because the people around you make you good at it, or I couldn't do this if it wasn't for my mom, or whatever. Just straight up own it. Go, do it. I bet you can't.
I think yours, we'd already talked about. Your number 1, which is your magic. What was it? Is that what they said? Magic?
Magic, yes.
Magic about people. For sure.
Yes.
I have to say, for me, I'm feeling really good about selling. About my ability to close deals this week.
I think you should feel good about that.
I'm loving it.
Definitely.
High fives about that. All right. In the news. Oh.
So Ellen apparently I guess she's not that great of an employer, allegedly.
I guess she's kind of meanie. I mean, that's what people say.
That's what people say. Who knows? Because in today's world of news, I mean, we could read that I'm going to be the president tomorrow, and some people might actually believe it. Like, there's just a bunch of stuff out there that's not true. But at any rate,
can I be Secretary of State?
Yeah.
Or the UN ambassador?
UN ambassador. Who are we going to have as Secretary of Defense?
Me. You can't. You're already the chief bitch in charge.
Whatever. I'm just going to do them both.
All right. Well, you could.
We'll have to think about maybe Cappy.
He's the only one with military background. Really.
Yeah, that we know. Yeah. So at any rate, Ellen is having a hard time managing her business and her employees well, so we're not going to focus on that because, frankly, I don't give a shit who it is. But what the important part is talking. The bigger question is really the toxic workplace, and when it exists and how do you manage it. So If an employer has a toxic work culture, can it be fixed? What do you think?
Of course, I'm the eternal optimist. Of course it can be fixed.
Can it be fixed and all the same people stay?
I know where you were going. I knew you were going. I knew it. Here's the deal. I think, let me think about that.
You think about it. Yeah.
I think, honestly, I think who has the authority has to change. I think you could have the same people. I have been in a toxic work environment where the wrong person got elevated to the wrong position of authority and it destroyed an entire organization with this one change. And so I think if you either remove that person or put them back where they belonged in the org chart, where they can minimize their influence, I think you could do it.
How about this one?
Oh, tell me.
Okay, what if in the company the toxic work environment is around sexual harassment? And let's say you and I and Billy, whoever he is, are working in a company together.
Are we harassing Billy?
And no.
Oh.
I allege that Billy has harassed me.
Yes.
And you are everybody's boss. So Billy gets fired, of course, because Billy has allegedly harassed Meg.
Yeah.
But what if you find out that Meg was actually lying to get Billy fired? Do you fire Meg?
Yes. 100%.
But what if she's going to sue you?
I don't care.
You're just going to put a line item on the budget?
Yep.
Bump up legal.
Well, I would just say that she's not honest in her dealings with the company. Fire her, and that's your reason. But there's no way.
I like it.
It's worse, I think, in many ways.
I think this is
false accusations.
I think that's the kind of toxic work culture, though, that, like, as an example, that gets created and not resolved because companies are afraid to let go of the Meg in that situation.
I would totally fire Meg. And I'd probably go find another guy, see if I can hire him back.
Yeah, then you get sued twice. But sometimes I think
most people are too chicken shit to sue, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, the lesson in that is
the white guy's not suing anyway.
Yeah, that's right. He's under 40. Poor Billy. I think the lesson in that is if you own a business or if you're part of a business, you really have to think about what are good decisions for the business, and make those decisions logically, not emotionally, and not based in fear. Because that's how those decisions made a lot. It's like, well, she's got a discrimination case, or he has an age discrimination, sexual or age discrimination or whatever. And so everybody just kind of, for many years, has laid down and said, okay, well, just whatever you want. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Stop it.
Okay, what does, can it be fixed? Oh, what does the process look like? Is it possible to earn back employee trust and buy-in? I don't know. I'm kind of with you. I think in the very generic case, if somebody is a poor leader and that's where the toxic work environment is coming from,
I think if there's a mea culpa involved, like let's say it's Ellen. Let's talk about Ellen as the example. If she comes out and says, "Yeah, I was a prima donna and I kind of treat people like shit, and no one ever called me on it, and so I just kind of kept pushing the boundary of it, and I feel like shit about it, and I, looking back as kind of an asshole." I think you can, if you're really honestly like, okay, got it. But there is, if she's famous and a multi-gajillionaire, so she'd probably fire all of her staff and hire new staff every season, and people would love to still be on her staff. So,
yeah, I think
is this going to break her? No chance.
Yeah, I think. Well, shoot, look at Martha Stewart. She had some actual ethical issues, right. And she's probably more famous now than she was before.
Never was. Yeah, she's friends with what's his name?
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg. That's right, Snoop Dogg. I had not thought about that a little bit. I can't remember.
I don't know. I think to expect that your culture will ever build back exactly the same way is a mistake. But I do think whether you get rid of people or keep all the same people, it's possible to build back enough trust to be successful and respect each other. But I think it's a little bit of a misnomer for the idea of getting back to normal. Whatever that was exactly what it was before, that's not ever going to happen again. The brain actually can't allow it. I've studied this.
I believe you. The thing I remembered was sort of a funny story about how Steven Tyler, he's the lead singer of
Aerosmith. He is my dream boyfriend.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay.
So here's a little story about him. So there's this funny sort of story. There's a guy that wrote, I think on Saturday Night Live, and he was writing a song for Steven Tyler to sing, one of their sort of joke songs.
Okay.
And he's like, being in a room with someone that famous was so strange. Like, he just had to kind of say something like, "Man, I'm thirsty," and literally Diet Cokes would appear in his hands. Like, people would just serve them all the time. Or he would say, they're writing an article or they're writing the song. He's like, "That's crap," and then change it. Like, no, like, sense of, being a part of something, no. Like, he's just so famous. He's been treated like a god his whole life. Like, I don't, and like, he's like, he wasn't a jerk. He's just how he is.
Right.
So that's what I mean about Ellen. It might just be that, that's how she is. And if you want to work with her, that's how she is.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see what she comes out and says.
Yeah.
Because she says she's going to talk about it on her first show back. So.
Well, she's so lovable. Like, she's gonna, everybody, no matter what, no matter when I hear Ellen's voice, all I really think of is a blue fish. Like, we're all screwed. I almost said it, Shelley. We're all screwed. Like, she's forever gonna be lovable. She even talked dirty about the meat industry and she poo-pooed eating beef and whatever else, and she's still cute.
She's very adorable.
It's a problem.
Oh, well.
This is the kind of thing that creates a toxic work environment, especially with high performers.
You give permission. Give permission. Your culture is as good as the behavior you allow. So if you allow shitty behavior, that's what it's going to be about.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
You're up about the...
I'm up. Oh, RGB. RGB died this week. I'm sure you've heard. So in honor of her passing, I wanted to read...
Just in case people don't know the acronym or who she is.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg was the second woman named to the Supreme Court. I think in 1993 is when she was nominated and confirmed to the Supreme Court. Before that, she was one of the first women to graduate from Yale Law or Harvard Law. I forget that story. Google it. I don't remember. But anyway, and then she was so excited. She was one of the first women, and she went out and no one would hire her because she was a woman, and nobody wanted to have her on their staff. So even though she was the first woman that graduated, nobody would take her on. So then she started sort of taking on these. She would work as kind of the second lawyer, kind of behind the scenes, and let sort of men take the lead on some cases, and then she'd just work behind the scenes on stuff. But there was a huge case, seminal case, where she won a case that was basically, she was trying to prove that you should have genders being equal. And it was really smart because she actually took a man's case where a man wasn't being treated equally. So, and then defended him and said, listen, women are being treated better than this guy, and that's not fair. So by saying that you're prioritizing decisions based on sex, instead of saying based on a woman's equality, he focused it on generic basis. Then that ruling overturned a ton of laws on the books. So it created a cascade of changes to laws all over the land. So she's really, and then of course she's on the Supreme Court and did a bunch of great stuff there. But really her legacy is about fighting for the equality of humans in the U.S. And so there's a quote that I love. When she was asked about equality, women's equality, she said, I want to make sure I get the right one right. I ask no favor for my sex. All I ask of our brethren is that they take their feet off our necks. I thought that was a great, visual. That's what it felt like. And imagine back in the day when you couldn't get a credit card in your own name or go to the doctor without your husband's permission or get birth control or sign a lease on a house or rent a place without a man. Imagine that did feel like you had a boot on your neck. So anyway.
Yes.
Makes me want to read some of her other stuff. Seems like
that even rhymed. So that's
apparently it was intentional because she didn't do much without thinking ahead. Yeah. I like it.
Do you if you have any thoughts on the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, please feel free to share them. Like, we miss her, or memories of your lifetime of impactful decisions she helped make.
No politics. We will kick you out. The other thing I saw that I thought was great was somebody was right. Everyone was saying sort of she's resting in state, and they're sort of having a thing today about it. And somebody wrote "rest in power," which I thought was a nice comment about her. All right, so we have member questions. These are definitely yours. Well, at least.
How often should I update my company's value, crest, and mission statement? I would say that not really unless you're having some major changes about who you are as a company, or update it, freshen it up every 10 years. It really kind of depends. I mean, the environment has to be right for it. I would say that if you went to your company's mission statement right now, you would read it and be bored and appalled that you have such a boring, crummy mission statement, because that's just what they are. They're crummy and boring. And that's kind of what they're intended to be. They're very tactical. So maybe I would encourage you, if you want to keep your mission statement, because tactically it makes sense for your business, you could think about having a passion statement. What really is your company about? And then the values crest, I would say, if you don't live them, then you should update them. So if one of your values, let's say, is community engagement, and your company over the course of the last several years has kind of gotten away from donations and volunteering and stuff like that, that's probably not true. Then you may as well take it off there. Good, bad, or otherwise, apparently replace that effort with some other effort that you're working towards, and it's good to actually live by the values that you hang on the wall.
I like the "you don't change it that often" advice. I hadn't really thought about it. At first, when I read this question, I was like, who the hell cares? But one thing I've noticed is that having your mission and values sort of stand the test of time, and I can see where some values might change over time, but that avoids it being a personality-based thing depending on who is in charge. Because that I've seen, like I was just talking to one client, and they wanted to add accountability to their values because they felt like that was important, but that's wasn't their role to make that decision. So, and they kind of elevated it up to the board, and they're like, no, we're not going to change anything. So I think it does kind of avoid that, and also trendy stuff, right? Like, right now with Black Lives Matter and some of these other issues, it's like there's a lot of push to change things around, inclusivity and diversity. And not that you shouldn't be aware of those things and be building those things in your company, but do you really want to change how, like, all of your big stuff to reflect what's going on right now? Maybe you do. Maybe that's who you are in your company, but that's probably not true for everybody. So I think having a more long-term view of it is probably a pretty consistent. And frankly, thinking about us, our company, we're always open to change and new ideas, but our core mission doesn't change. So I think I guess maybe the answer is, if you think your mission isn't right, then you probably didn't do a good job the first time.
Yeah. That's what I was just going to say. Like, if I look back at our values crest, they're all still true, and we have gone through several iterations of who we are as a company. So.
Right. And how we do things and what we focus on. So, I love it. All right. The company I work for employs 35 people. This may sound weird, but since the COVID-19 pandemic, gossip and employee personality clashes have increased. I am the director of HR and want to address the issue in a staff meeting. What is a good way to frame it? That's a great question. Well, what you should do is you should hire us to come in as external facilitators, and we will handle this. I think it's really tough. I just had a conversation this morning with a gentleman who's having a similar challenge, and he's just really tough for him because he's trying to take care of people and make sure everyone's doing okay and touching base with people, and it's really like he doesn't want to come in as, come down on people, like a sack of bricks, and it's not his personality. He's probably a stabilizer. He wants to take care of people. He doesn't want to, be the tough guy. And I think, and that's kind of what we talked about, is like having us come in and kind of being the sheriff about that stuff. And that way he doesn't have to come in feel like he's being a jerk, but you still get it sorted out. So I guess that'd be my first answer.
Yeah, I think if you're the director of HR, again, sort of to the theme of the above topic about how do you talk about all these sensitive issues and whatever. Well, just say it. And I think the message is not you guys are being a bunch of jerks, quit being mean to each other. It's, hey, we're all in the same boat, and we're not really sure if we're going to fall off the edge of the earth on this boat or if it's actually going to take us to new land. So let's try and be kind and give each other a little bit of grace. And if you have if you're the director of HR, my tactical advice would be, say, if you have any issues with anyone else for right now until you hear otherwise, come to me with them. That is not the right way to do it always because you want to obey, and use your chain of command. But if you've got a real rampant issue where people are being super gossipy and crummy to each other, you got to get a handle on that, because if that gets out of control and devolves your culture to misery, you're going to lose some really good people, and in a hurry, because the job market is hot right now, especially if you've got people who can work remotely. So yeah, I would say, just sit down with people and say, this life is not easy right now for anyone. I mean, honestly, I'm pretty sure that we truly have probably like the easiest of all of the humans in the world, have like the easiest life to deal with, because we work for ourselves and we can make our own rules, and there's not very many of us in the office and all that. It's still hard. I'm trying to figure out how to get my kids to school every day and read me emails about if there's COVID in the school or not, and it's still stressful, running in the back of my mind all the time. So you're not going to get people to quit thinking about it, so make it the plan, not the enemy.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that Meg is recommending all the time is to actually just, like if you're the HR person and that person comes to you, maybe you bring that other person into the room too and say, or on the call or the Zoom room or whatever, and say, Susie says that she's really struggling with the Ben situation. Well, let's get them all in the room and talk about it. And then hopefully over time, they can learn how to do that themselves instead of elevating things all the time. Because over time, people have to learn how to communicate and ask questions and do hard things. And most people suck at that. So I would say facilitating and modeling good communication is important over time. And right now it might be just sucky to do all that, but I know you gotta go.
I do, don't I?
Yeah.
Just look at your.
I know.
We have to do some good news first.
We have to do some good news, and we have to get our fancy Joby and Peyton sign out because we gotta do it. Yay! Some good news! Yay! Some good news!
So this woman on the West Coast has. I sort of read the article. I just really hate reading articles, like a lot. I've decided this is the problem. Like, I just don't like to read them.
Well, I'm just gonna guess what happened because I didn't read it. But I bet
she adopted a dog.
Okay.
Zen.
Okay.
Is the dog's name.
I bet she saved the dog, and there was no oxygen masks for dogs.
Yes. And then what happened, Shelley?
We started a not-for-profit and delivered pet oxygen masks to fire departments across the East Coast so that they would have them in similar emergencies.
Oh, East Coast?
West Coast.
Okay.
So, if you didn't hear Shelley, that was what I was going to guess. But she started a nonprofit to help to fund, so all the fire departments would have animal-shaped oxygen masks so that they could help save animals that they rescued out of the wildfires. So, do we have a link to donate or something? Yeah. Okay, Shelley's going to hook you up.
And she's donated over 7,500 of these masks so far.
Shelley is a passionate animal advocate and lover. I am not so much. So, you at least have animals.
I have animals. I did, I guess. My perspective on animals is a little different. But anyway, this woman is really keen passionate on animal saving.
We're talking about passion and what you're passionate about. This woman is clearly passionate about that. And she put
action to it. So
that's right. That's right. Don't be afraid to do the same.
Yes. I'm getting a new computer. That is the last bit of good news.
Oh my God, that is a good news for all of us.
It is good news for all of us. We'll see. We'll see. I am pretty sure. I don't believe actually in bad luck at all, but if I had some, it would be about technology. I've decided this is a reality
Might
for
be
me.
a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Nope. It's I know all the things, but I really think I believe in this.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my good news is I remembered to go to choir yesterday, so I got all the happy hormones, which makes the rest of my life a lot better. So, we're back in choir and all masks and all the things, but I didn't even care. My body doesn't know the difference. Like my brain chemistry, it just knows I'm singing, and it's all that matters. So, it's pretty awesome. All right, go find some happy hormones.
Bye. Lead powerfully.
Change the world. Bye, guys.